Okay, this is part 2. It seems that I kind of ramble in these videos, so I'm gonna have to try to just, bang out the information. So let's take the light apart. So here's the tail cap, and you can unscrew this. You see these those two little indents, those dimples? You can actually put a pair of pliers down there, unscrew it, and that gives you access to the rubber tail cap. You can switch colors if you like. Here's the main body, and there's the tube, and down there is the motherboard that regulates the flashlight, which also controls the brightness. And this is the head and the reflector. This is a polished reflector, supposed to throw to 200 meters, and it does work. It gives you a very good hot spot. And let's just go over the light, the features of the body. You have a cannulated head here that I guess can be used as a defensive, as a last-ditch defensive weapon. And you have some heat dissipating rings here. Basically, this the problem with LEDs and Cree LEDs in particular is that they get hot, especially with these Q5s. The Q5s are basically the brightest of the Cree LEDs, the XRE line, and it gets very hot, and these rings are supposed to, this whole light is made out of aluminum, so it helps dissipate the heat, but these rings specifically are supposed to help give off heat. So I don't know how well that works, because this thing gets pretty hot. This whole thing gets pretty hot. And coming down here, we have the kind of tactical style cigar ring holder. So basically, it allows you to hold. Let's put the tail cap back on. It basically allows you to hold the flashlight like this and turn it on and off in this fashion. So you can have a pistol in this hand, or sorry, I'm right-handed. Pistol in this hand, and then you can have the light in this hand, and you can turn it on and off like this in a cigar fashion, if you wish. It has a momentary on switch, which means when you push it, that turns it on. Like if you touch it, it turns it on, and it goes down into the clicky. That turns the light on permanently. Let me show you what that means. It allows you to signal, I guess, if you have if you're in a tactical situation. It lets you signal to your buddies, Morse code or whatever. So let's turn it off. So it lets you go without turning the light fully on. Wow, that's bright. You see that? Camera has to see, the camera has to auto dim to adjust for the brightness, and we're already in a brightly lit room, so that right. Okay, some other things to talk about. The body of the light is made out of aircraft aluminum, and it is finished in a HA3 hard anodizing, and that actually prevents wear on the aluminum body. And the reason why I didn't take the head off is because the threads that are inside here on the head are not hard coated, whereas the ones down here, the threading on the inside is hard coated as well, so that when you take the tail cap on and off, that hard anodizing protects the aluminum body from getting scratched, from scratching itself. So you're only supposed to take the head off for maintenance and cleaning. So I didn't take it off here, but it's basically just a tube here, and the head has the microprocessor plate on here, which meets the battery at the tip. And how this light works is that you've got the standard, or actually it's already in turbo mode. You get the standard mode, and you twist the head like so to take it up into turbo mode. And what happens when you twist the head is that there's a copper ring inside of here, and when you twist the head, it actually brings that copper ring completely in contact with the aluminum body down here. So it allows more currency to pass, and thus a brighter beam. Let me show you something cool. Oh, what? If you're here, you can actually hear the lens click from adjusting itself. So it's really bright. You can really blind somebody with this. Like if you look directly into this, so if you got somebody coming into your house and you uninvited, and you shine this in their eye, they're gonna lose their vision for about a couple of seconds. In which time you can shoot them, punch them, whatever. It weighs 152 grams. I don't know how many ounces that is, whatever. I don't have a scale, so 152 grams. It's not a light. It's pretty heavy. It's hefty. So that actually helps because this actually can be used as a defensive weapon. It's got enough heft to it where if you hit somebody with this end, see the crenulation, or also this end, it can actually do some damage instead of just nothing. And because of the O-rings, this is actually waterproof to what's called IPX8 standard, and that's what it said on the website. I did not know what that standard meant, so I looked it up on the internet, and it actually means this light is can function underwaters 2.6 meters, up to 2.6 meters underwater for up to 30 minutes. So that's what the IPX8 stands for, and it goes from 1 to 8. And I think it may go beyond, depending on the time and the depth that this light will work in. The lens in the front is glass, and that's pretty much all the information about this light. It's a great light, very bright. Some things to know about this light is that it comes in this holster, which is not great because first of all, this light is so big you can't put it reflector side down into this holster. You actually have to put it reflector side up and then close a flap over the head. This allows a lot of dust to accumulate on that lens cover, which is not great. And I don't know, I don't know how to attach these clips. I don't know what they're called, but I don't see how this attaches to belts and stuff. So if you know, please tell me. This light came to me already oiled. The rings were already lubed, but the contacts were a little bit dirty. And for these Fenix lights, and for all these tactical style lights, these aluminum bodied, high powered LED lights where you have the batteries in the tube, how you're supposed to clean them is that you're supposed to take it apart. Well, anytime you're having trouble with them, it doesn't light up or it flickers. Anytime you're having any kind of those kinds of problem, you're supposed to take the light apart, take the batteries out, take it completely apart, and take some alcohol, dip some Q-tips in alcohol, and clean out the threads, because the threads are the actual things that are transporting the electricity around from the tail of the light to the head. I don't know. I don't know the scientific or the electrical engineering, how electricity flows or whatever. But all I know is that these threads are what lets the light make contact, like the battery contact the front circuit board to make a circuit and light the light up. So when those threads get dirty, it causes a malcontact, and you can get problems such as flickering or the light doesn't turn on. And you do the same thing with the threads on this side, and usually the problem is oil and dirt gets into those threads and prevents the thread from making 100% contact. So just go ahead and clean those out and clean the microchip over here that the battery touches, because that gets dirty too, because your batteries are dirty, the materials that sometimes your batteries leak onto them. And so just use some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and clean that off, and then try your light again, and it should work. And also make sure that your tail cap is securely fastened. Just fasten it down. Okay, and looks like that's all I have to say about this light. And you can watch my little outside walk. And the reason why, I realized that when I was doing that walk that the light, the light beam was not showing up that well on camera. And the reason why is that, like I explained before, this is not a great camera. If I had a better one, it may have picked it up better. And also, it's not completely dark outside. You have street lights and what have you. And by the way, there were some people sleeping in the cars because when I was walking around, they were looking at me. So, anyways, okay, thanks for watching my videos, and out.